not take the coffee. Okay, why is it worthwhile to come here from Texas and Idaho and Arizona and Canada? Why come here in South Carolina? Why come here and see me? Okay, well, one reason is kind of obvious. Technically, I can cut and sew and tie knots well. Okay, no, so somebody who's done thousands of something is technically good. So there's the technical issue. But maybe even more important is another reason to come and choose me as your doctor. And that is because I know a lot about this. I'm smart about the mini-gastric bypass. Now, I'm smart not because I was born smart, but because 4,000 plus people have my cell phone number. 4,000 plus people have my email address. Okay? And so every day, whether I want to or not, I learn a lot about the MGB. I know what complications are going to happen. And I know what caused them. I know who's going to get them. And I know how to avoid them. Okay? And like a father, I can turn to my kids and tell them how to avoid some of the complications that they are going through. Now, as a kid, you can listen to your dad or not, okay? And some dads, you know, are not the best advisors. But in my case, coming to see me as your doctor, you get the benefit of thousands of people who've been through this, and I know what to do to help give you a long, healthy, successful post-MGB life. So let me give you some advice. First of all, the surgery's not perfect. We talked about some of our patients don't lose enough weight. And I'd like to before I start talking about the negatives, re-emphasize that you're not going to be a diabetic anymore. I mean, this is death versus life. I mean, it's blindness versus no blindness. It's heart attack versus no heart attack. It's stroke and dragging your right leg behind you in a, you know, it's amputation of your foot. Diabetes, no diabetes. It's being on a kidney machine. Okay? We're talking big stuff. And we expect as of tomorrow, you're going to start being a former diabetic. That's big stuff. Now, but in return, there are risks that go along with the surgery, and the number one risk is getting an ulcer or gastritis. Okay? Getting an ulcer or gastritis is a lot like getting in a car crash with a car. There's wonderful advantages for owning and driving a car. You can go here, you can do this, but you know that owning and driving a car, you're at risk of being in a car crash. Okay? We know that the MGB has tremendous advantages. It's safe. Much safer doing a 30-minute surgery on you with your diabetes and your obesity and all these problems tomorrow than it is doing a 4-hour surgery. We know it's reliable. It stays as its effectiveness over a decade. Look at Carney Wilson and a lot of the other famous Roux-en-Y patients. They're gaining their weight back. Trish had surgery with them 8 years ago. Trish is still buying size 0 and size 1 dresses. Carney Wilson is 250 plus. Okay? So the surgery is reliable and durable. But like the car, it carries its own risks. And I know what they are, and I can tell you how to avoid them. Okay? So when you're driving the car, I recommend you don't go in the wrong direction on the freeway against traffic. Now you can, I don't care. It's no skin off my nose. I'm just telling you, you drive the wrong way on traffic, you're going to get in trouble. Okay? I have advice that I've given you, that I've written for you, and I'll tell you on how to protect yourself from the complications of surgery. The complications are ulcer, gastritis, kidney stones, low iron, stuff like that. And I can tell you, better maybe than anyone else in the world, what you should do. So now, you asked me about coffee. You know what I would do? I would listen to me. You know what I tell you? I wouldn't drink coffee. No. I go into Starbucks, and I desperately want to order a triple skinny latte, you know, with an extra shot. But I order green tea.
and really, let me...
I don't want green tea.
I'm more of a warm beverage person, and I love green tea. And if I could make that, is that okay?
Yeah.
Green tea, I'm vigorously opposed to green tea. I hate green tea. I can't stand green tea. Every day I get up and I look on the research literature in medicine searching for positive research on coffee. And I'm looking for something bad about green tea. I hate green tea. But green tea research is stunning. The epigalactosins that are in green tea help you lose weight. They help protect against prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer. They help kill the bad bacteria that causes ulcers in your stomach. There's a million good things about green tea. So when I go in Starbucks, I curse the reality that I live in. I want to live in an alternate reality where coffee is good for you, and I order a green tea. And that's what I recommend.
I'm in the construction business. I did a minimum of 3 20-ounce Starbucks coffees a day. The first 2 back-to-back every morning since Starbucks has been around. So I'm having this surgery. My name's Bob, Kelly's husband. And I stopped 2 weeks ago. I haven't had coffee, and I had green tea. I hated one of them, and I love the other one. China Tips at Starbucks. And I maybe drink 2, but
It's a miracle.
for me,
It's a miracle.
for some reason, I'm going to be 57 this month, and I'm very healthy. And I have little babies. So for me, and I've always been overweight. I'm a lot overweight. I just think I carry it well. But I found that if you do what doctor says, you won't have any problems. And if you do, that's, hey, it happens. I'm not going to drink coffee anymore. I'll drink green tea. It's all right.
Yeah.
Believe, I love coffee.
I love coffee.
I'm telling you.
I have a feeling you guys love coffee.
Well, but you know, he says don't drink it. How much does he got to hit you on the head? Don't drink it.
Yeah. Now let me finish my story though. Here's the rest of the story though. I get phone calls from people in a hospital bed with a bleeding ulcer or perforated ulcer. Okay? And I say, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I remember you. You had the wacky husband who complained about the website. And so then I'm talking to him. I said, you know, it's just terrible you had an ulcer. I mean, were you kind of following our advice, you know, taking your vitamins and stuff like that? Hello? Hello? And you hear this, well, no, not really. I said, well, you're taking your Tums and keeping up on that? No. You weren't drinking, were you? No. I just, you know, a little beer and wine and mixed drinks and whiskey. Well, you're not smoking, are you? Well, just cigarettes, you know.
With a beer, it's great.
And well, my gosh, you weren't taking aspirin or Motrins. No, I'm taking Aleve. You know, I go. So, you know. So I can tell you, if you look at our advice, we're giving you advice, not because I want to be annoying to you, although now with your criticisms on my website, no. We're saying to you, is, look, I desperately want you to do well. I don't want to take away your coffee. I don't want to take away soda pop. I don't want to take away the kind of enjoyments, but those things cause ulcers. Not only that, some of them can actually have the potential causing stomach cancer, like alcohol and cigarettes. So don't do those things if you take my advice. And a lot of people have not taken my advice. Over the past decade, I have operated on thousands of people. And they have my cell phone number, they have my email address, and they've called me and told me that they've had complications from my surgery. And I'll tell you, I'm reporting this back. Don't ignore what I'm telling you. I've got the advice, I've got the experience. Even more valuable than my technical skills are the fact that 4,000 plus people call me their doctor. And I know what happens with the surgery. This surgery has wonderful benefits, but it has a risk. If you took an aspirin a day, the research shows that 6% of people who take an aspirin a day to protect themselves from heart attack will get GI bleeding in a year, and that's roughly the same number for us. But ours is 100 times more valuable than that aspirin a day. To get rid of your diabetes is just unimaginable to me, because I, as a general surgeon in the past, would be called by my medical doctor colleagues to come and cut off the gangrenous leg of a diabetic. Okay? Imagine in your mind that that future is taken away from you, that you never have to face a swollen, infected, gangrenous foot. I wouldn't drink coffee. Take that, take the absence of blindness, the absence of kidney failure, the absence of giving up your leg, and say, I can do without coffee for that.
Sounds like a good trade.
You put it that way.
Yeah.
Is chai tea okay?
Well, I don't know.